Welcome everybody. Sorry I am late. I had some business prior to having the stream on. One sec. I want as much light as possible. So I had to turn up that. So we are going back to Titus again because I need to make, well, of course, the final details and stuff, but not only that, but I need to make some corrections because like for example, looking on his hair, I checked the picture again, and I realized that I did not achieve what I was trying to get with his hair because, for one thing, his hair is actually black, or at least uh, very dark brown. So we'll do that correction in a bit. So I think what we can do to rectify this is a bit of uh, a bit of black. We just need to thin it out very carefully in order to do that. And then let me just fix up the camera here. Focusing on good old Titus here. Go. So apart from that, we do need to although it doesn't seem like it in in the camera, actually I just realized how dark the colors are. And I may need to use a little bit of a touch up for a lot of parts of it, the model. So we'll be doing that as well, apart from, of course correcting our hair problem, because as you can see, it's actually it's matching with the fur, which is another thing I need to fix. So we're gonna try. First off, we're gonna try and fix that hair problem, and then we're gonna make this lighter. Because on the box art, you can see, well, apart from the mistake on skin tone, because probably I might have used a much darker tone to get his skin, but I could try and cover it up with a whitewash, some sort, in some way. Apart from that, we are going to try and correct his hair and the fur, which is supposed to be a much lighter brown on top. So to start off, we are gonna, you know what? Let's switch the focus down. I'm gonna unlock that. I want it. Oh, right about there. Whoops. So let's get him on. There we go. Much better. Get him on that. And we shall hopefully get this correction done. Oh, one more thing. I better go grab the transfers because we're gonna have to do that. Are our transfers ready? So I'm gonna just use this blue ultramarine symbol later. Ow. Let's get started with the color correction. So first things first, we're gonna need a nice color of black. Bro, so excited, yeah. I am. I'm super excited. Like, it's no problem, dude. With your that's your how you want to handle your streams, so I can't do anything about that. So I mean, people can play the troll songs, and I'll just do my own thing in the meantime while the troll songs are going on. It's fine. Not a big deal for me. All right, I need my paint thinner. Bro, I want to talk a lot about, rivals while we're painting here. Like, I'm really thinking, like, apart from all the new stuff that's been being introduced, right? Um, because they said they expect the meta to to shift in a way that's it's gonna be shifting into a more hyper aggressive meta for the most part, right? Oh shoot. Did I maybe I didn't thin out the paint enough? Mm. So what I'm trying to aim for this time around is actually course correct our coloring on the hair. Because kind of made a boo-boo on that. Hair is supposed to be black. But I'm trying to make it thin so it doesn't do it too much. And I also need to make his skin a little paler, which shouldn't be too hard. Okay. Just need to be careful where the rest of the paint is going. Make sure it doesn't target the sensitive areas or the face. Okay, that is one part of the correction done. Maybe I will add a little bit of gray and white too. You know what? We didn't get much over here on the side. Let's try and fix that up a bit. Okay. Now to pale up his skin. Yep. My mother's cat or my sister's cat is trying to. All right. She went. She got up on the where she wanted to go high place. She's trying to get elevation. My sister's cat. Okay, so now let's let this to get his face pale. How do we do that without screwing up the paint job? Ah. I think the best thing I can do is mix a bit of white and then a bit of flesh. Need something a little more pale. I'm gonna use some yellow maybe to get that saturation up. Please too much yellow. Just need a little bit. And then a bit more white. Now, moment of truth. Gonna need some thinner here. I better have my correction brushes ready just in case something goes wrong. So I'm gonna pre-soak my wash brush. All right, wish me luck, folks. This is going to be a painful process of correction. We're trying to make his skin a lot paler. I hope this works. Because if it doesn't, oh, I am going to be screwed. Wait, I need the magnifying glass for this. Okay. For me, this is a little better. This is an improvement at least. It's a little closer to his actual box art, but of course there's considerable mistakes. Considering like I was unable to like correct some of the like I think the main mistake here for me was not using a red base. Although I did mix some red and brown, it should have been a pure red first. That way I could get a bit more flush on his cheeks and then push out that pinkish, really pinkish white. It's like it's very saturated kind of pink. So instead I got this much more brownish gritty tone, which not really what I was going for, what I originally intended to get, but that's fine. What we're gonna do next, I'm gonna use my mixture to get a bit of gray. A bit of that brown there. Try and get some of this mix here. Because I'm gonna try and highlight his hair a bit more. Now that we're doing that certain correction. Oh no, that is terrible color. Oh whoa 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 there. Oh no. No 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 no. Unacceptable. Alright. Now I wanna try and correct this white here. I wanna make it more um creamy. Now, in order to do that, maybe we can try something like using a bit of contrast. All right. I want to experiment here and use this side here to actually do that. Let's see if what happens when I do this to the cape. I don't think it's getting the creamy feel that I'm looking for. I don't think so. Maybe if I just spread it out a little bit more. Uh, Still not there, but I'll let it dry for a bit and then we'll see afterwards. Then on the other side, we're going to take this shade. It's Urgrax. I'm going to try this one as well and see what it does to this side of the cape. But I'm just going to apply just a bit. Ah, you know what? That's a bit too dark. That's a bit much. Let's remove that. And let that dry. Or better yet, take our other brush and just grab that moisture out of there. All right. Let me catch up on chat really quick because, I was focusing down hard on that. And I did not check chat. There we go. All right. For the most part, more aggression depending on the role, since there's more DPS, more aggression, especially when there's 2 times the team ups for each character. Dude, have you seen there was a short I watched. So the loadout is Human Torch with Storm interaction, Storm team up, and then Storm with Jeff. So what happens is Human Torch puts down that that bubble of flame on the ground. Then Storm comes in with her ult and then creates those fire tornadoes, and all, including herself, becomes a fire tornado. And then just midway through the ult, Jeff jumps in and turns the flame ult into the Jeff Storm ult. That's crazy. I don't know if it extends Storm's ult if Jeff jumps in after the flame tornado, or it's just that they were able to time it where uh halfway through the ult, Jeff just jumps in and changes the properties of Storm's ult on the spot. So that to me is crazy. Because now you know, another thing also just came to my head, right? When I was thinking of how the new team up system is going to work. You can essentially create this chain of interaction of synergies. That's just every member synergizes with each other, and then you just get this patchwork of interactions. So you could have a full team of all synergies. Crazy. That's mind blowing to me. Don't know if you're still there, Hans, but yeah, that was my thought on it. Just it it's going to be just bruh. It's just all bruh. That's going to be the main word for the entire season. Bruh. Like I'm gonna be stuck in the thing is I can't can you summon bots? Right? I don't know if you can just summon bots for like interactions and stuff. Because that's what I want to mess around with mostly. Just to see how this character interacts with that character and then create this chain of synergies. Boom, 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 back to back. I'm trying to think of like a full loadout where that happens. It's hard for me to like figure out like if it's possible to achieve that. Oh, okay. Good to know. I'm just not satisfied with this. I think I want to have to redo this whole color entirely. Like just paint over it. I'm just not getting the cream I want. I want that cream color, but I don't know how to achieve that. Maybe it's just right in my face right here. It's been here, sitting here right in my face this entire time. Yeah, this is it. This is it right here. Okay. Yeah. My Siri bot's getting to work and just banning bots as they come in. That's funny. Gotta love it, man. Gotta love not having to do a thing. Like, I don't think you have this problem, Han, because like I don't know if it's something to do with like if bots detect like if you're affiliate or not and stuff, and you have a considerable audience that's already like paying for subs as well as um throwing bits and all that. Then those bots stop just coming to your streams. So, but in my case, I don't give a damn. I have a bot to do my dirty work. I fight fire with fire. I mean, yeah, but like I've how when was the last time you review bought it, right? Think about it. Oh, okay. So you do also have a third party. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But then have you ever seen those messages still until now? Even if when you have your whole thing going now? But if not, then that's good. It's good that you don't have that problem anymore. Ah, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I should probably do the same. You know what? I think I'm gonna go for sponge. Where's that makeup sponge? Now, where did I put it? This one has to be cleaned. One sec. I'm gonna get the other one I already cleaned. Okay. By the way, one thing, like thinking about like rivals tactics and stuff, and I noticed something, bad habits that I don't know if it's you could consider it a bad habit, right? But I noticed that when strategists are being dived, they always back up. So I was thinking like, okay, it's bad enough already for them to back up because they're just being peeled away by the DPS or the tank dives. So what's wrong with actually running towards your tank or towards your DPS? Unless that is not the correct play. And because if you're running towards the tanks and the DPS, like it keeps you. Yeah, I know. You sometimes you can't help it. It's a bad. I don't know. That's which is my question. Is it a bad habit to actually uh run, or is it bad for you to act the correct play to actually run towards your tank when you're trying to be peeled? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. So push forward, in other words. Strategists should push forward with the tanks, keep the formation tight, especially when there's dive tanks around. Okay, gotcha. Just wanted to be sure I'm not crazy or making a very bad decision. Because I also play strategist, sometimes. Yeah, it's the panic. Yeah. Yeah, because you're putting you as a strategist are putting distance between yourself and your tank, and you're making yourself away from line of sight. In fact, your chances of survival are much higher if you're pushing towards your tank and you ping your tank and he notices, oh, you're being jumped. I'm gonna come over there instead and help you out because as thing, right? Thing, as thing, I have the ability to jump back towards my backline and actually give them a damage reduction buff. So it would help a lot if my healers are within range of that. Because oftentimes when I check back behind me, right? Or when I check behind me, my healers are all the way far back and I can't help them if they're being dived. I can't immediately jump towards them to assist with getting the dive tanks to shoo fly. Let me read this properly. You move backwards and blame their team for not peeling for them, etc. All you're doing is moving away from help. If Black Panther is flanking or anytime pushes onto healers, they should move towards you or help. Yep. Yes, sirree. Exactly. Just because most of the dive tanks are subject to my charge and my slam. So the the healers will be able to get breathing room if they, you know, actually run towards me and they ping. It's like, hey, help me, stupid, stupid tank, help me, help me. Not gonna finish that joke. And you gotta love it, when those healers like they're pinging and it's like nobody's helping them, and then they're putting themselves in that position, and then they start going like noob tank or noob teammate doesn't help me. It's like, bro, bro, yeah, you ping, but you're like miles away over there. How am I supposed to get to you in time to help you? And you're blaming me? You're blaming me? Okay. Okay. But hey, with the new update, you won't be getting that as much because the only people, right, they'll be really blaming is themselves. Why? Because they have regen shields. With the regen shields, they have a responsibility now to be mindful of when they engage. Because when they engage, they should know that they have a health pool that regenerates back. And it's their responsibility to remember, hey, I'm a squishy DPS. I shouldn't stay too long in a fight. I should back away, let the regen shield come up, and then re engage. I'll check the camera really quick because I've been like talking tactics here and I'm not even paying attention to where my camera angle is on my stream. Maybe I should use a dry brush for this one. Has a much softer tone, much softer touch, right? There we go. That's better. And now what I can do is I can do solid color and just go straight for the edges of the wrinkles. Oh yeah, one some additional good news. With the new update, I actually encouraged one of my cousins who owns a net cafe to install Marvel Rivals, and potentially in the future, I might have a full stack for next season because it's gonna be my cousins and possibly their girlfriends also playing. So it's a possibility, but it's not gonna happen often. It's probably like once a week or something like that. So I'm still gonna be solo queuing for the most part for ranked. Sad to say, but at least I know, and maybe possibly the weekends, I might be able to have a full stack and play with my cousins. All right, so we're done tackling with the red. That's pretty much okay and done. I think I just maybe mm, tone this out for a bit. There we go. Next, we're gonna do light blue because unfortunately, I'm not satisfied with how the blue turned out. It is not the shade, or at least it's quite such a dark shade that I'm not okay with it. So I want to add a bit of white to it. So the armor is highlighted much better. Where is my palette knife? Oh, shoot. That's not what I intended to do, but that's fine. Okay. Now for this job, I think I'm still gonna use the uh hmm, just need to dry brush off the red. Okay, there we go. Oh no, it's mixing with the red. One sec. much better. Okay. What else do we need to correct? Oh, yes, this one. So I found out that the gun is actually mostly gunmetal and not what I thought it would have been, at least color wise. That was like mostly black, but the only thing that was black in the picture was the handle, or at least the what do you call that? The foregrip? Yeah, the foregrip, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, that's corrected. What else do we need to correct? I think that's mostly it. Ah, the gold, you know? We need to also correct that. We need a much vibrant. I think this Valiant Brass will do. This will add a little brightness to a lot of the gold parts of the model. All right. Now, back on topic on rivals, right? Another thing that I've been looking at was Rogue synergy with Magneto because I think that's going to be a new synergy. And one thing, like, I'm eager to try out is how well that team up actually works in a way because because what Magneto's team up does with Rogue's Southern Brawl ability, basically her block. So it increases her defense with that. So which means that Rogue's viability as a frontline tanker kind of increases in a way. But of course at the end of the day she's a dive tank really. Off tank. But that that synergy with Magneto makes off tanking, if not assisting him in the front line, a lot more viable. Like especially when you don't have Gambit as your healers. So you can choose either or. Because if you do have Gambit, then Gambit. Really? Rogue. Talking about Rogue. Rogue and Magneto. Magneto buffs Rogue's block. But I don't know if it's what kind of block. I mean what kind of buff it gives exactly. I know it kind of changes up the properties of her block. I wonder if there's on already like a post on the like a full post. Nada. Welcome, brother. How's it going, man? How's your finals been going treating you? I don't know if you did any ranked or if you got into anything today. Yeah, just doing final touch ups, man. Just trying to make those colors pop out more because I noticed that they when I took like after stream, I noticed that the colors were much more darker than I thought they were. So I wanted to try and make those colors pop out this time around. So trying to make them more brighter this time around. So I did some work. I didn't do it all the way, but some of it. Because I still want that grim dark feeling that you get when you see the smalls. Ah, the server issues. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's definitely gonna be a problem. Let's try also touching up on the cape as well. Good to hear though that you're still helping out people with their ranks. So let's do a bit of a shift here. Because I'm also a finals player. I still consider myself a finals player. It's just that I'm taking a break from the finals. And I'm looking forward to the new Melee rework for the next season. It's definitely gonna be a interesting like season, especially with the rework and everything. But I am keeping my hopes up that the balance changes will be yes, I did. I did read up on it and super interesting. Super interesting. Right shield is getting tons of buffs. Oh no. So I am kind of set for next season in a way. Sword, I don't play much sword, but yeah, I'm also eager to see how sword performs. And not to mention dagger, actually. But bro, I the one person I would really like to see who sees this and sees the update and everything is probably may come back, and that's Goolsley. Unfortunately, he is kind of, well, the last I've heard, he's kind of done with the finals. Uh, Despite what has happened to him in as of recently, ever since I actually started playing the finals again, because he's the person who got me back into the finals. And to see him where he is now, or like his opinion on the game right now, is kind of discouraging in a way, or not demotivating rather. Oh, you did? Nice. Good to hear. Because the last thing I heard was that he was really just done. The problem is just like what's stopping from the whole thing happening again, right? Him getting false banned and all that. That's what my number one fear is with playing the finals. It's just that one day, one day I could just end up being mass reported for whatever reason and then banned, or from banned because the system is not as polished as Embark would like it to be. Shoot, my hand slipped. Really now, would love to see it. I guess I'll see you more on Ghostly streams then for next season. Yeah, and one thing also is like with the melee rework, right? Because everyone is gonna get that push kick. Everyone's getting a push kick, so that means everyone with a gun has a chance to keep melee fighters at a distance and keep shooting them down, right? So adds to the skill level, but at the same time, it's like we as melee fighters are not exerting so much effort to close the distance because now we have our lunges. And knowing Goosley being a dagger main, oh, it's gonna be awful. Awful in a good way because like people are gonna absolutely get wrecked by him. I'm really anticipating that. Goosley on daggers is gross. It's gross. Absolutely disgusting. Like you love to see it, but you hate to see it because like you would pray he's not on on the enemy team. Well, you're gonna be playing with him as his teammate, so you don't have to worry about that. So what do you guys think? Good to hear that I actually did got you to do that. Right. I think this is much better. This color was much more vibrant now compared to the initial gold earlier. There we go. I think that kind of fixes Titus now. So next we need to tackle is the shoulders because those things are not as bright as I like them to be. So I need to think about how I'm gonna approach this. Yeah. To be honest though, I've been so burnt out from finals. Like at by the end of this season, because I was just like, I'm not getting anywhere in terms of skill, and a lot of my time is already being pushed towards painting. So we're gonna take a break from finals for now. Um, but I will see how the new season holds up, and if it really grabs my attention, and you know um a considerable amount of people would like to see me play again, then I wouldn't mind squeezing in finals into my schedule. Although I would have to put it in days where I'm not doing my main painting or my main game schemes, right? So probably on the weekends, same as before. And then I won't be, but that's another thing, right? Since I won't be spending too much time with it, my skill level won't grow as much. That's my only like issue with it, because you're gonna have to put like considerable amount of hours, as you just said. It's supposed to be peach. In fact, I think I need to add a little bit more. Let's see. In fact, I may have messed up somehow because there was supposed to be an inner detail. Maybe I was supposed to paint it, or did I cover it in paint? I may have covered it in paint. And it's supposed to be this peach color. Unfortunately, I couldn't get precisely that. Or maybe I did. It's just that I didn't do it well enough. So I just need to add a little bit more, which is not an issue because I already have the pink mixture here already. I already know what to mix, what colors to mix. Gonna need more white though. Okay. Hopefully that actually matches with the actual color of the cape in the picture. Just need to polish the sides here. There we go. Then maybe a bit of this. Because that ugly white color is still poking out somehow. And I don't like it. It is not the color I was going for. And therefore must be eradicated. There we go. I'm okay with the inside being slightly off, but that's fine. Okay, next. Now, there is still one more thing we have to do. Two more things, actually. First, let's take this out because we are going to do transfers. Now, what are transfers, you ask? Transfers are basically like these little stickers. So let me just put some this way. Right. Start, what's up, boy? Wait. Let's zoom out. Then adjust focus. There we go. All right. Wait. Before I continue, I want Sar to actually have a look at the model now, because we have done considerable progress on it. So I fixed up some colors and improved the touched up on some of the other parts as well to make it less dark. And now we're about to add a little bit of a sticker, right? So this thing right here, gotta get my knife. So now I'm going to show you the one of the most tedious process in the hobby, which is adding transfers. Trust me, like if you think the painting was hard, this is harder. It's much more annoying because these things are so sensitive. Like they can easily crumple. And you don't want that to happen. And it's much easier to make a mistake on this one compared to the actual painting. And less forgiving too. Do it, dude. Do it. Like give it a shot. You never know. You might enjoy the hobby more than you think you would, because that's exactly how I felt when I started this hobby, right? And ever since, like when I first started, or at least when I first saw the hobby, all the miniatures and all that, the painting, right? And like everyone else, right? Like everyone else, that was my. I gave the exact same reaction. Everyone seeing the hobby for the first time, which is, man, the details are so tiny and my hands are so shaky. How do I even uh think about so much as think about getting into the hobby, right? But at the same time, like, how will I really know how far am I gonna get if I don't actually try? So although I didn't start with the free figurine, I actually started with a friend 3D printing me models. I didn't have to pay much for the materials to get my stuff printed. I started with a small squad of Kasserkins, and then from there, I did research. I did my homework, made sure I knew what I was doing, getting the right tools for the job, at least what was available to me, right? Not just like going out and buying expensive brushes or whatnot. Because of course, like considerably, a lot has happened since then. And then slowly but surely, right, I started getting and collecting all the things I needed, whether it was the paints, the brushes, the tools, and most importantly, the knowledge. Like having, knowing, knowing a lot of the what the hobby entails actually mitigates the skill issue with how you're gonna interact with the medium. And where is my surprisingly very quickly. So bear in mind, right, Nether, I spent over 4 hours, right, on this project. If this was like oil painting, oh bro, that would have been a disaster. Like the process would take even longer than it is taking now. Ah, ah. So I screwed up and I managed to ruin the sticker. I'm gonna have to try again. So this is one of the difficulties of transfers. Really, it's part for the course. It's gonna take considerable time and a bit of a waste on your transfers, but good thing they give you a whole lot to work with. Otherwise, this would be so tedious because then I would have quit trying to do this. But it's a good thing I have more of these. I have tons of these now because of like the number of sets I purchased. So even if I lose this last one from the other, I have tons of other sheets back in my drawers. So I am not worried of making a mistake. Granted, of course, like as I said, I bought a ton of sets. I say a ton, but I didn't buy that much. But I think it's considerably a lot for someone who's been at the hobby for about 3 years now. So give or take. So let's try this again. So you might be wondering, but what are these chemicals I've been using, right? So this first one is softer. What it does is, as the name suggests, softens the transfer because these transfers are much like stickers and they're pretty stiff. So the softer actually makes them much more easier to apply on like rounded surfaces. So they don't like wrinkle up or anything. So they're a lot easier to just stick down. The other one is setter. So this is the chemical I use. Oh shoot, I placed too much. Uh, this is the chemical I use to actually put the sticker where it needs to go and helps me make adjustments while I'm applying the sticker. So right now that the sticker is ready to be removed, we're going to carefully just slide it off. Like so. We catch it. There we go. And then we will apply it right away. The knee pad. Right. Once it's set its position, I'm going to take our sponge. Where is it? Uh-oh, where is my sponge? Underneath? Where did my sponge go? All right, let me clean up my desk. Might help me find my sponge. Oh, found it. It's on the floor. All right, get the sponge and just carefully soak up all the setter because we are now certain that our transfer is in the right place. So I'm not gonna touch it no more. So now let's zoom in. Just the focus, and there you go. Sticker is on nicely on that knee pad. Maybe a little bit needs a bit of an adjustment, just slight adjustment. All right. There we go. All right. Now I'm not gonna touch it no more because I want that to dry and you know um stay there. So while that's drying up, we're gonna move on to the next step, and that is applying our acrylic wash. So let us clear up the desk again. Good Lord, it's a mess. You know what? A setup tour? I mean, it's gonna be hard to do with my phone, unfortunately. Um, because the wire is kind of sensitive. So if I try and, you know, move it, it's gonna just what I can do is I can take pictures of my setup, and that way that's the best thing I can do actually. Or maybe take a short video and then I will post it on Discord or something like that. Oh, you want to know how to make a station? Um, I mean, okay. First off, right? Um, when you're painting, or at least some of this hobby stuff, number one is having yourself good ventilation, because this stuff right here has a very powerful scent. It is not something you want to be inhaling while in a closed space. So you need proper ventilation. So your area should be aired out properly. And acrylic dries very quickly. So you're going to need something to keep that moisture. And for that, I have a wet palette that consists of this kind of hydropad, which is like a sponge. This thing here, this thing is like is a hydropad, holds water. So, and then this sort of wax paper that comes with the hydropad, what comes with the wet palette, and it will help retain moisture in your paints. That way, your paints don't dry up as quickly. Then you need somewhere where you can store your brushes and your paint. So you can have a small rack or something like that, something similar to that. You also need a container to keep your water for washing your brushes whenever you're like changing up colors. And and for the most part, do not keep your water dirty. Make sure your water is always cleaned up. So I need to actually change my water real quick. There we go. And another thing might want is this mat. It's meant for workshop stuff, especially when you're using a zero knife. So this thing is incredibly sharp. If I were to run it on, say, this table right here, I might actually scratch the table. Or if you have a wooden table, that would be pretty bad to scratch it with this thing. So having this mat kind of keeps the table nice and clean and scratch free for the most part. Then, of course, your brushes. Somewhere to keep your brushes, I use a mug. I have my little Jurassic Park mug from Universal Studios in Singapore to keep my brushes. So, and I have a whole bunch of brushes too. So, I mean, if you have an empty mug you don't use, so you can always put your paintbrushes on that. you don't want to actually have my setup. It's so messy and so small, bro. Like, if I were to just, can I just like raise the? Can I? How far can I raise this? My table's pretty small. If you can't see, right? Look at it. It's like only like a couple of feet. Now, this is not ideal, by the way. This I only got this table because I'm trying to sort of I'm a minimalist in a sense. Like I want to just keep everything compact. If I need anything special, I can always go to my room and grab it rather than having everything here all at once. It may be convenient, but at the same time it occupies too much space and I would like everything just nice and compact. So I don't need everything on my table anyway. So I like to keep things nice and easily, somewhat much more accessible. The sort of ergonomics of like moving my hands to grab paint, to grab whatever it is I need, right? But I don't, at least I don't have to like. I have two shelves to display all my models on. Two sets of shelves. I do have a picture of that. I will try and grab that now. Let me see if I remember where I posted it. Did I post it on Fluxes? No, I did not post it there. Who did I post that? Did I post it on Hans's channel? La 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 la. Where is it? Where is it? There we go. Found it. Uh, Let me download that. Save. Okay. I didn't post it on your server. Not the finals. Where is Picks and Adventures? Okay, there we go. No, Toys and Figurines. There we go. Upload. Boom. At you. Oh, there's hobbies. Right, right, right. That's right. And there's arts and crafts too. Um. Oh wait, I posted it here. Okay, there we go. I posted the stuff here, but here's the whole shelf. And you know what? I'm gonna let stream see it too. Let me just image, pay, browse, downloads. Boom. Whoa. Okay. Hold on. Wait a minute. Whoops. Uh. That right there is the entire shelf. So you have the Valkyrie up on the top shelf with the orcs and the Grey Knights on the top shelf as well. You have Space Marines on the left. You also got more. You got the um like bunch of guardsmen in the center. Then you got other Space Marine characters. You got the Celestial Insidiants. We got more Space Marines down below. We got some Tyranids at the bottom shelf. And this is only the Warhammer shelf. There is still another shelf on the other side of my room that I don't have any pictures of. So let's remove that. Okay. All right, there's still the matter of this one. So we got to deal with this one first. Um you know, no. I wanted to go for steel draft. Hmm. All right, let's bring the camera down and refocus on our painting. Now I want to try and fix this over here because it's covering some of the text in the back, which I don't want. It's going to affect how the details are going to pop out. So I just want to clean that up a bit first. Okay, before we tackle it again. So I don't want it to hit the letter so much. Oop. All right, so I'm gonna demonstrate how quickly this paint actually dries. But first, I think I still missed a spot somewhere here. I want this all covered up. Okay. Just want to be sure first before we say that, before I demonstrate. All right. So I'm gonna leave this. All right. I want to chat with you guys for the next like 5 minutes while that's there. Right? Or better yet, while this is drying, let's get our wash ready. So the last time I used the wash on some of my models, I noticed, right, using this for example, I don't know if it's focusing it right. There we go. So him, I did use wash all over, almost all over the model. And in some areas, I actually did not like push through with actually applying it. What I did was I sponged off because I wanted some parts to actually have that, grimes for that grim dark feel. And in other parts, let's shift the focus a little bit. There we go. So we can see some of the details are being filled in by the wash. Like even the gold bits here and here. So the wash does its work by filling in into the crevices of the model so that those details are much more emphasized. So like for example his Vox over here, his speaker or something that he channels, something that helps amplify his voice or something like that. And as well as the facial features as well. But I don't think I'll be doing that with Titus because it might actually ruin how he looks compared to instead of enhancing how he looks. So we can also see how his buttons start to push out because the wash actually goes and covers up those like indents there. Again, it goes into the crevices so that those details start to pop out. If I hadn't placed the wash, what would happen is you see at the bottom here how it just blends in. So you won't be able to really see the last button that much, which is what happened here. So I could just add just a little bit more wash at the bottom there. Also gets into the shadows of the wrinkling of the clothes. So that's what wash does for the most part. What shade wash does. All right. Maybe it's not dry yet. I can still see a bit of gloss there. So it's not quite there yet. So we will go ahead, take our thickest brush or second thickest brush maybe. No, this one's take some of that wash and we're gonna put it all over this here. As you can see, now that the wash is actually getting into the crevices of the fur, you get to see each strand of that fur highlighted much better. However, what I don't want is too much of it getting into the model. So I'm just going to tap my sponge up on the top there. Now we do this side. Next, I want to do the bolt gun. I want these details to be pushing out more. Okay, now that's dry. All right, refocus here. So now you can see how the wash is actually taking an effect on the model altogether. Certain features are now a bit more emphasized. Excuse me. I think I want to add a little bit more to the blade here. Just a bit. The chainsword rather. Okay. Although for some people, you might be thinking it's like, it doesn't seem that effective. To be fair, like I'm looking through the camera right now, and the camera does it no justice, man. If you actually see the model, like as I'm seeing it right now, it's something totally different. Honestly, okay. Now, and let's keep proceeding towards the next shade of color I need to tackle for the base. Now, for this particular color, though, I think I'm gonna need the assistance of my dry brush. Okay. Since this is a dry brush, all I have to do is simply just wash it down a bit. I'll take our sponge. Maybe also do the same. Try and thin out that layer of paint that has gathered up in the tip so we can attack with our sponge here. Slowly get to that. All right. So I think we are done, and I'm quite happy with how it has turned out. Although there were, of course, hiccups here and there, but I'm glad we managed to actually finish this. All that's left now is to just add a coat of varnish to seal it, and it's officially like pretty much done. Once I add the matte varnish, a lot of this gloss will disappear for the most part. So it's gonna look, because as you can see, this one has a lot of gloss on it. Apart from the fact that the paint hasn't dried yet, but you can see how much the gloss is, and compare it to this, right? Oh, wait till you actually see it in matte. The matte actually completely it changes the effect. Because I'm looking for that gritty, like it's almost like a painting kind of way, kind of vibe. That's what I want. Not like a fresh out of the factory, glossy kind of visual. I want the nitty gritty. I want the grim dark of the 41st millennium. So, all right. I noticed that there is a bit of a correction I need to make. Just a tiny itty bit. I can't do it with this brush. No, not that one. Yeah. All with the power of the sponge. The makeup sponge. It started as a purple, then we slowly drew that red out of the purple. And the same case with the blue. We also used purple as our sort of base color, and then we just slowly draw that blue out. It has a fantastic effect on the model altogether. So altogether, if we consider all the time spent finalizing the model and everything, how it has turned out, I've spent 7 hours on this model. That is by far the longest I've spent on a single model. But hey, um, when it comes to these things, the more time you actually dedicate, the more time you dedicate to painting these things, the better the results you get, because you make adjustments, small things here and there. Now, one thing I wanted to really try and do was actually put Titus's name on this little bit here because that's what's on the design of the model. My issue is that I'm not great when it comes to writing with a paintbrush. So I'm absolutely terrified to actually do that. Instead, though, we need our other brush here because we're gonna do a bit of writing right here. You know what? Screw it. Let's do it. I'm here already, so let's do it. I'm gonna need my magnifying glass for this. Nope, too wet. Mm, it blends too much. I'm gonna need black. You know, we're here to challenge ourselves, so we're gonna do it. Uh, wait. Wanted to erase most of it for the most part because I didn't give it enough space. Close enough. I crammed it in there. I crammed in the U and the S. It's not even clear. Good lord. Wait. Come on. Let's do better. I know we can do better. You know, one thing also is not helping is the lamp itself because, like, or the mic, right? Because the wire is dangling in a way that I don't like. One sec. I want you in my face, man. Get over there. Okay, much better. I'm gonna close in now. Oh, I'm out of paint. Right. Lock in, man. Lock in. Okay. What I can do to actually rectify that. Oh, oh, careful. Not too much paint. Just enough to try and separate. All right. That's as close as the tightest thing I'm gonna get. I will not be able to get any further than that. I'm not gonna push it. Here you go, cat. Let's put the lighting properly here. It is done. What if I actually added a bit more? I'm really want that. I want the eyes emphasized. So I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to try it. I'm just gonna try it because it's bugging me. Okay, do that. Take some. There we go. a little better. Grab more of the side here. Also the head piece here. I want to do that too. All right. Now that's done. It's time to pull out the varnish. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. I think we're good. We can seal this model for good. Oh, Kat, did you read my message on Devil's chat, by the way? I mean, we were talking about the changes that are coming to Marvel Rivals earlier, but don't know if you caught on, saw my message. So on Marvel Rivals, again, just to repeat, there's a lot of changes coming that will definitely that has is going to be changing the gameplay significantly. So for any newcomers that are been on the fence about trying out Rivals, now is a good time to actually jump in because with the new changes that are coming, everybody will be sort of relearning the game in a new way because the changes that are coming change the core gameplay significantly. So that means even the people who are good at the game will be actually doing their own like testing, experimenting, and as well as learning. So you will be practically playing a whole new game, much like everybody else. So now is a good time to jump in. So the update will drop on July 9th, or for some of us who are Probably in who are probably gonna be getting the update a little later might be July 10. But I assume they're gonna drop it all at the same time, supposedly on the July 9th. So I hope you all are looking forward to that because I am super excited to see what the change, how much the game's gonna change with the new team up system and the new reworks coming for, and the balance changes for a lot of the characters because of the changes in the team up system. So yeah. So if you don't know what the team up system is, basically, right, to give you the gist of it, every almost every hero in Marvel Rivals has some sort of synergy with other heroes. And originally, it would only work if that specific hero is on your team. So let's say Hulk and Wolverine, right? If Hulk and Wolverine are in the same team, Hulk has the ability to throw Wolverine at whatever he wants. Or if uh, Gambit and Rogue were in the same. Oh, cool, 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 cool. So I may be much more active in Rivals this coming in the coming weeks. Um, of course, we are still going to be focusing on painting for this entire month of July. But if I'm not painting, then I'm probably going to be playing Rivals because with this new update, that means I have to sort of relearn the game again, in a way. Well, add to my what I already know, and then we are by August we will try doing ranked. Of course, Kat, you don't have to join me for that because I know you may not want to experience what it's like to join ranked matches. But hey, if ever we get a full stack, then you're more than welcome, right? As long as it's a full stack. Because if we're gonna lose ranks, we might as well do it together. But otherwise, I think we're gonna be mostly sticking to quick play as well as. Oh yeah, Kat. I almost forgot to mention actually. If you are just learning the game, you can actually go into matches against AI bots. You don't have to go against the players right away unless you want to be in that situation of the expression out of the frying pan and right into the fire. Then sure, we can do that too. But for the most part, while you're learning, I think we're gonna be sticking with the AI bots. So I want to ease the pace for you so that you don't get yourself overwhelmed. And you may have, and besides, you also have Shark as and maybe others who may want to help you out learn. So no worries about performance. You don't need to you be we're not going to be too concerned about performance because you are learning, and in fact we are all going to be learning because the whole system changes everything. So we're all going to be learning in the end. So our model is now nice and varnished. So we're gonna be waiting till maybe the varnish dries up, and then we will look at the model again once it's all dry. Unlike the paint, the varnish is going to take some considerable time to dry. So this is done. We are officially done with this model, and I'm happy how it turned out. Okay, so maybe next we will do these characters because I have already prepped them up. These two are already prepped and ready. So we also have others that are on the weights. Uh-oh, where are the heads? Right, the heads are here. So I will be preparing those for the future painting session. Here is Gadriel's head as well. So unfortunately, I don't have enough putty to put them on individual Q-tips, so I'll be doing them one at a time. All right, that just about wraps up everything. And we are ending on time too. We don't have to do overtime tonight. Whew. So maybe let's cool off and chill out. Maybe I can do this. Okay, that's a, that or okay, no. Um, one sec. Let's go back to the painting one. Let me fix the camera studio one. There we go. Much better. Yeah. Okay, much better. Let's center the camera. Nope. No. Ah. Uh-oh. Nope. Ah. Ah. There we go. Feels so relaxed. Put these down. Blah. All right. Let me. While we're chatting, I'm gonna be looking for somebody to raid. Who is streaming right now? Uh. Hmm. You know, I should actually show at least some of the stuff that's coming. Don't worry about that, cat. You know about the panic because one thing I don't know how, right? I When I got to like learning the game and stuff. One sec. I think I may have messed something up. Okay, never mind. I'm good. All right. So I don't know what it is. I never. Maybe it's because I played enough games that caused my heart rate to soar, especially after playing finals and I shift to rivals. Um, I think you would have panicked more if you were playing finals compared to rivals because the finals is much more fast paced, and it it would get so much. It would drain me so much of my energy, man. Like playing that game is it's fun, but it drains the hell out of you. The mental like gymnastics you have to do, and like everything from the understanding how movement works in the game and all that. It's a lot. It's a lot of information. I don't understand why. Like I'm trying to figure it and comprehend how I'm able to just be chill with with rivals, right? Although I do see there are some little bit of frustrations here and there because team doesn't know how to team. People, unfortunately, like having a lot of players is cat. Monster Hunter isn't. Uh, I mean, if you already know the monster, right? If you've clocked in the amount of hours in Monster Hunter, you're chill, right? But imagine fighting a monster for the first time. You don't know their moveset, and you haven't gotten used to their moveset yet. And then you go in and you get your butt looped so many times, and you're the frustration and everything, and learning how the timing, when to dodge, when to parry, when to do all these things, right? I mean, which is in itself crazy that you're calm for the most part. A lot of people panic. I've seen people play that game, play Monster Hunter, and they panic. They panic like crazy, right? Which, but, Kat, you play so well. You play so well. You know, a lot of our runs that you join in with Devil, it goes so smoothly once you're in it. You don't realize it. I don't think you realize how good you are in when you're playing your support build. Support isn't easy, by the way. Playing support is not easy. I don't hear you. Well, you're not in our VC, so we don't get to hear you squeak. And I think, and especially when you're playing in the hours that we're playing, you can't do squeaking at all because your people are probably sleeping during this time, right? I would assume. But isn't it like what 10 o'clock in the morning for you? Unless I'm wrong and it's a little earlier. And even Cirque is on board with that. And by the way, Kat, with the new synergies, hero synergies for rivals coming up, um, you can really experiment and see what characters can suit you and stuff. Like, all right, let me pull up a video. Let me pull up a video on all the team ups. No, I don't want that. I want just the one with um strategists. I don't want commentary though. I hope this one doesn't have commentary. No. Come on. Okay. Um, Let me switch views. Let's use Game Studio for now. Okay. And then um window capture properties. Okay. Hold up. Okay. Um Trying to make sure it's there we go. Okay. So let's go to the strategist. I mean, look at this. Wait, let's skip to. I want to skip to Devil Dino. Watch this. All right, after this one, after Punisher. Look at that. Look at that. Wait, let's go. Let's go back again. Okay. Wait. All right. So this is what. Okay. After this, let's skip this. Okay. So when you select the hero, right? When you select the hero, you will have the option to select which team up ability you want active. Now, it's going to have two effects. The first is the base effect, which is just the effect by itself, right? So, if you're playing Devil Dinosaur, his death breath or his breath attack not only damages enemies but heals allies because of Jeff. Because you picked the Jeff one. If you get Jeff on your team, though, he can ride on your back. So Jeff is one of the support characters that you can play as. Okay. So this is Cloak and Dagger. This is one of the harder ones to play. I think she's 5-star, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, so this is the cloak. If that was Dagger, this is Cloak. But I just want to show off like the crazy things you can do now in the game. Let's skip her. Let's do Mantis because I wanted you to see Mantis, all right? Okay. All right. There's another support character named Adam Warlock, and if you pair him with Mantis, or if you pair Mantis with him, if you die, you can resurrect yourself. That is without Adam Warlock on your team. You can already do that without Adam Warlock in your team. But what happens when you have Adam Warlock in your team? So when you have Adam Warlock on your team, you have the ability to soul bond, which basically what happens is if you notice that this AI was shooting at the Groot here, and the Punisher was taking some of the damage, or some this other guy was also taking some of the damage. So basically, it mitigates the damage received here, while this one you can just heal probably, which is crazy that you can do that with her. Now, she can also do with Star-Lord. If you haven't watched Guardians of the Galaxy, or if you already have watched, then you would know who Star-Lord is. And if he is what you select with Mantis, her heal now is an AoE instead of a single target. I understand a lot of this is a lot to absorb at the moment, but just giving you the gist and letting you understand like what's going on screen, basically. So what happens when Star-Lord is on your team is not when you actually use the buff ability, because she has two abilities, right? She has her right click, because you can see on the bottom right of the screen, you can see which keys are tied to what. Her right click will give her ally a heal over time buff. Her E will give them a movement speed, a shield, and a, I think, attack damage buff, if I recall. But with Star-Lord on your team, that buff not only is going to increase the damage or increase your damage, movement speed, and all that, but it heals on top of that, I think. Increases the healing as well. Let's try something a little more cool. I want you to see more cooler effects, like let's go to Jeff. I'm gonna let you see the little shark guy. He's just a little shark. Well, after this one. There's little Jeff. Yeah, so what happened there, right? So this is his synergy with Venom. Okay? So if you select this in the character selection, basically on its base form, when Jeff uses the ability, he will latch on to the nearest ally and give them a heal over a time effect. However, in the next clip, if Venom is present in your team, he latches not only to all nearby allies, but also all nearby enemies, healing allies and damaging your enemies significantly. So now, this is what happens when he's teamed up with Deadpool. shoots out this little unicorn that spray guns everything in an area, healing allies in its base form. But when Deadpool is present, that little unicorn will now not only heal allies but damage enemies as well. You also have Invisible Woman as an ally or as a healer, which is also cool. Of course, she has her invisibility. Oh yeah, there you go, Cat. Another character you could possibly play because she's invisible. You can just hide. Okay, fun little thing. If she's paired with Mr. Fantastic, if she's paired with her hubby, she can make other people invisible. But when her hubby is present, she can make everybody invisible. And not only that, but if an ally takes damage while they're invisible, they get healed up. They get revealed for a second, they get healed up, and they return being invisible. Now, this is Gambit. All right. And I will also show you the new healer that's coming into the game as well. So just give me a sec. We'll just try and showcase the rest of this. Oh, wait. I gotta show something cool first. Okay. Maybe after this one. All right. Okay, after that. Okay. Storm. She has a fantastic interaction with Jeff the Shark. So let's skip that. Okay. So this is what happens when Storm is paired with Jeff. She brings down rain that heals everybody within her radius, within her storm, for a certain amount of time. Okay. So now here's another thing that happens when Jeff is present. Jeff is swallowed up by the tornado, flies around, damaging enemies around the area, and heals allies. And and I think she if she's with Jeff, I think he pulls. I think he pulls. Wait, let's rewind it back. Oh no, that's normal. Yeah, I think it just adds damage and the tornado heals on top of damage. So yeah. Okay, Human Torch. Human Torch also has an interaction with Storm. So there's Fire Nado. Okay, wait. Hold on. Let me show you this. This one doesn't showcase it the way I want it to. I think this one. This was in the playtest, I think. The playtest servers. All right. Okay. Uh, okay. So right now she's in the flame tornado, but then she swallows up Jeff, I think. No? Oh, okay, she doesn't do that. Okay, that is disappointing. Um, wait, hold on. That really thought that would be it. Where is it? Is this the one? Okay, there's the flame. Wait. Okay, you can have both effects going. So you can get the Human Torch's Flame Tornado and get Jeff. That's funny. That's funny. So you see, okay, you see that she has Jeff, although there's the water effects, but she's glowing red, so she has both the fire effect and Jeff at the same time. That is so funny. That is an amazing interaction. That is amazing. Okay, go back to that video. Wait, let me see if there's other interactions I'm missing. You also have Squirrel Girl. Who else? Let me cut the music out first. Oh yeah, that's right. Let's look at Jubilee. Rivals. Here we go. I think this is it. No, no, no. Um, I just want the this one. This is the new hero, our new strategist or healer. Did you notice that attack speed? Fireworks go burr. Fireworks go burr. Okay, I'm sure you're confused. What just happened there? Okay. Okay, when she activates her, that is her ultimate, by the way. So when she activates her ultimate, she shoots out these little orbs in a circle, right? And they rotate around. And any allies within the circle gets healing. And any enemies that are um, out of the circle, okay, are pushed back as soon as you activate that. But here's the thing though, right? She can retract and expand that circle. So she can focus on allies a bit more. Like if you're in a close knit formation, she can retract the circle so that it's focused on your allies, and then push it out again to push out enemies. and she can spam that. She can spam the retraction and the expansion as long as the ult is active, which leads to some crazy plays. So as you saw in the video, right? She just slowly pushes the entire enemy team off the map, essentially. So cool. So I'm excited for this upcoming season. Again, coming this coming Friday on July 9th. And hopefully, I will be streaming. I might stream on that night, to be honest, if and only if I'm able to download the update before I stream, right? If I'm able to. Um, if not, then I'll be streaming all of Saturday probably. All Saturday afternoon. Or evening. I'll probably do it in the evening, maybe. We'll see. In any case, I think I've occupied too much time already. I still got work in the morning, so wait, did I not? Did the whole thing disappear? By the way, did the whole browser just disappear? Did it stop showing? Oh no, it's fine. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate all of you stopping by. Kat, I'm eager to hopefully squad up with you potentially in Marvel Rivals. And anybody else who's interested would love to jump in. This upcoming season is a very good season to jump in, honestly. And I hope that we can learn new things together with Rivals. And but of course, we are still gonna be focused on our painting throughout the month of July. But if and when I do stream some Rivals, I hope to see you all there. And if you are watching from YouTube, guys, if you have not if you've enjoyed the stream so far, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe so that you can catch the next time I go live or the next time my VOD is uploaded. And for any of you guys on Twitch, if you have not followed yet, hit that follow button so you can catch me on the next time I go live. But till then, this is Magus signing out. I'll catch you on the next one.